Facebook Find Bigfoot. The Brown footage. Stacy Brown films a Florida Sasquatch as a tree peaks then strides across a gap, taken on May 8, 2012 in Northwest Florida. It's a great example of the use of FLIR with a solid strategy. Stacy Brown sets up a camp and uses two undisclosed methods to attract interest to the camp. Junior and his father Senior are not in the camp, but rather are filming the approach to the camp. Filmed at 90 feet, this shows a complete body shot in two strides of a Sasquatch. The distance covered is 15 feet, and the Sasquatch is estimated at 8.5 feet tall. Confirms on a bunch of different things. Show that later. This video also shows Sasquatch are strategically smart and need to quickly surveil and assess any threat within their territory. They will endeavor to keep the maximum distance from any perceived threat. Remember, because Sasquatch own territories individual monogamous family groups, the male must assess any disturbance, as Stacy was creating. Here is Bigfoot field researcher Stacy Brown with Cliff Brockman. Cliff Brockman did the measurements with Stacy Brown in the field. It was filmed with a FLIR Scout. Cliff Brockman premiered the video at the Orlando FLIR conference in November of 2012. These are a few of the slides that he used. Here you can see the shin rise. Here's the approximate distance covered in one stride. Cliff's estimate of 8.5 feet is included on his website. This matches our August analysis of the footage. A 5'9" human in boots there, and you can see the Sasquatch to the right. This is the original footage. It's 21 seconds. It's a 3.1 meg file. What you'll see here is the dark spot is a thermal image, means it's warmer than the surrounding. And it's peeking from the right side of the tree, then the left side of the tree, then it'll cross the gap. And that's the footage. But what it tells us is remarkable. So let's first brighten it a little bit to add some clarity without distortion. See it to the left, and it peeks to the right, and you get a good body shot just before it leaves across the gap. You can see how long that arm is. We'll use white to show the thermal radiation. So now white is warmer than the colder woods. Pushes off that tree as it crosses the gap. So what happened? Both men left the camp and filmed the approach to the camp. So there's the camp, there's the disturbance emanating out from it, and there's Junior and Senior, and that's where they filmed it. If you film from within the camp, the Sasquatch will be concealed by the trees and the brush. Senior pressed record as soon as he saw the dark spot. And that's it. In reverse, you'll see this, and you'll see that arm as it extends, like it should stop. This was filmed in the deep forest between Gainesville and Tallahassee, Florida. Conformational analysis. Number one, the height is beyond the human range. The old dead oak tree the Sasquatch is behind is 26 inches in width. That right there, you can see it. And we'll block it in white there. And this is what it looks like during the daytime. The FLIR camera was 90 feet away. And Stacy Brown Jr. stood behind the tree, and his shoulders and body were completely hidden. So imagine Stacy Brown is behind that. You can't see him. We take those pixels and we add up horizontally. You see the height is between 8 and 8 feet 8 inches. And if you measure between the two trees, it's 15 feet. Doesn't seem impossible, but it is. Number two, it's a consistent thermal image. This dude is naked. And you can see that arm is way back there. He's holding onto that tree, and the arm is 60% of the total body height. If you look at a normal human male, you'll see it's about 40%. And in the Patterson-Gimlin film, you'll see it's about 55%. Number four, the head is set forward on the body. Like the Paul Freeman film, you see the head is set forward, and you see the nape of the nose is equal to the slope in the back and the chin. There's a bunch of different things that show proportion. You see the same thing here. So this reminds us of the head and shoulders in number 22, perfect profile.
Okay, I just saw a Bigfoot in my backyard. I had to run back inside to get my... Oh my god, there he is. Holy shit.
If you look at the shin rise and the bent leg compliant gait, you'll see the legs never really straighten, and there's a nice angle to the leg.
Take a look at Patty here from the Patterson-Gimlin film. The angle of her shin rise is 73 degrees. We see it on every step. Now let's take a look at our model on the right. We see her shin rise only comes up to 52 degrees. So now we have this and this. 21 degrees difference. Big deal. No two shins are going to rise the same, right? 52 degrees, 52 degrees, again and again. Everybody hit the same mark.
The legs are never straight and holds onto the tree as long as possible. This behavior reminds us of Bigfoot in my backyard by the lake, Ontario, Canada. Shot in prior to 2006, posted to YouTube. And it kind of is holding the trees and bending, and you can see that slope to the back, and you see the bent legs. It's grainy footage, but it's still consistent. It's much longer than this film shows. The Sasquatch peaks and clears a gap. What it's peaking at is that structure back over there that Stacy Brown Sr. Is located. Why do Sasquatch tree peak? Trees are used as camouflage and to create the maximum distance from a threat. You can see this here in the Mike Green thermal footage, which is in the high 20s, and it's a Sasquatch. It's peeking from behind a tree, looking to see if there's any danger, and then goes and grabs an object from an unattended camp. Here you see the same thing. It's peeking from the right side of the tree, left side of the tree, makes the decision, then crosses the gap. But here this is in reverse. You see it right and left, and you can actually see how the hands are moving up and down on the tree. In Virginia, a man sees one by the river and it hides behind a stump. It just peeks and watches him and doesn't really move. His knees move and his head moves slightly.
Big and black, and it definitely is not a piece of rubber. I've seen its head move a couple times. It is freaking me out. It is huge. I'm going to try to get another angle.
Matt Moneymaker's BFRO got a FLIR image of a Sasquatch peeking at them through trees. And when you compare the images, you can see that it's a different type of creature. This is one from Kentucky 2012, and it's peeking from behind a log, and you see the heavy brow ridge, the coned head. You see the eyes. They actually blink once. This tree peeking is observing from a concealed position. You can see the same behavior in the number 59 Mink Creek, Idaho Sasquatch observing from the top of the hill. Tree pulling. Sasquatch have a need to constantly touch the trees. This is seen in the 2012 Minnesota-Ontario Trackway. In tree pulling, the Sasquatch grab trees whenever possible. It may help to them balance. Here are a couple clips where it's also seen.
What is
it? It's in the tree. Over in the trees, Mike. Do you see it? I can't get any closer with this thing. Oh wait, there I can.
I don't see it.
Mike, right there! It's Mike! I'm going!
What is FLIR? It stands for Forward-Looking Infrared. It's the gold standard for night vision, and it sees body heat, not light. Optical cameras need light, natural or infrared night shot, whereas FLIR measures the body heat. It's much more sensitive. This video is sent in as proof of a very real encounter, but it's too dark to really be useful. Watch it cross the gap.
Look! What is that?
Where?
What is that? What is that? Oh my gosh.
Are Sasquatch nocturnal? Well, it's a good question. Dr. Henner Fehrenbach analyzed the time of encounters and concluded that Sasquatch are primarily nocturnal. FLIR is the best tool to film Sasquatch when they're most active at night. Why is the brown footage so important? Well, it's likely to explain the formidable structures of ancient humans. Number 14 Auburn, number 7 Freeman, number 10 Pennsylvania, all lead with their head as they duck and run through the forests. Here's a rendering of Neanderthal, and you see the heavy brow ridge, and you see that backward sloping forehead. Well, if you look at Minnesota Auburn as it runs past a farmer as he's filming in the forest, he thinks it's a deer, you'll see this slant head, and he ducks and weaves in there, and you see the muscles in the vibrate, and you see inline step. You see a lot of really cool things, but it's leading with his forehead. Well, you would need formidable structures. If you look at the Freeman footage, you'll see the exact same thing. Going back, you'll see that it ducks underneath a little branch there. Watch one more time. It ducks and weaves, goes under a branch. You will also see this in number 10 Pennsylvania white. As it's seen, it turns, ducks, and a long arm and the forehead leads. The heavy brow and keel offer protection, but also created the space for a big brain. So if you look at the other great apes, you'll see that we have a much bigger brain and much more capable. The all-time top 20 will follow these conclusions. Conclusions. The brown footage shows, 1, that Sasquatch will check out disturbances in their territory, but at a safe distance. 2, Sasquatch have a bipedal brow and keel leading in their nocturnal attack. 3, Sasquatch can run through the forest at night, giving them a tremendous advantage over prey. This explains the tremendous structures seen in early Homo erectus, Agaster, Neanderthal, and Heidelbergensis. All right, the top 20. Here is a review of the top 21 Sasquatch videos of all time and why they are important. Where does the brown footage rate? Well, number 1 is the Patterson-Gimlin film, because its film has great resolution and it shows exactly what a female Sasquatch looks like. It has been highly documented, the site and where the cameras were moved in the 5 things, what exactly is seen, the cupped fingers, and you see the break in the middle of the foot. It's really phenomenal. Even more phenomenal has been the work of M.K. Davis, who has taken and stabilized all the shakiness so you can actually watch and focus in on the creature. The subject is so remarkable that people can't believe that it's real. And not only that it's real, but they're also in Florida is even more spectacular. But here you see Patty completely stabilized as she walks across the sandbar. She's fooling Patterson and Gimlin because she's going to go across the stream and double back. Number 2, camper fills Sasquatch with iPhone. The Rick Dyer expedition is a very close inspection of a Sasquatch. You see the gray on the face, you see the hooded nose, you see the heavy brow, you see the cranial keel, you see the coned head, you see the shoulders and neck muscles all moving. It's truly amazing as the Sasquatch is eating something on the other side of a tree. This is filmed outside of San Antonio, Texas, and it's pretty amazing. And then in another short clip, it's looking straight at the filmer. What's amazing about this is the nose. The human nose is a fantastic achievement, and the genes you see here that created it likely only occurred in one spot, allopatric speciation. That spot, most assuredly, is North America. Number 3 is the woodpile thermal. It shows what a Sasquatch really is: clever, nocturnal, and very large. One of the smartest researchers out there, Christopher Noel, films it twice and didn't even really realize what it was because it was so camouflaged within this tree and wood structure. And these are finely milled boards, and you can tell exactly how wide the cranium is. And the reality is that it's huge, 4.5 inches between the eyes. And you see the width, the arms are probably 11 to 12 feet to stretch all the way around the wood pile. You measure the tree, measure a human eyes, you can see that this likely proves something remarkable, that humanity was created through the process of self-domestication. Here, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, is next to two models. Domestication is marked by a 40% reduction in the sensory organs, and you can see it in almost all domesticated animals. This footage here basically proves that. Number 4 is the Marble Mountain. It's the height, arm length. It walks down this ridge and walks past the branch that's 8 feet 2 inches high. It's off there, right? Just walk past it. And then this Sasquatch is 9.5 feet tall. It holds its head. It's trying to deal with thoughts. It's walking around. It's making decisions. You get to see a Sasquatch for the longest time, and you see the slope to the back. You see the high shoulders. You see the long arms. You see the wrist bend backwards like no other great ape. This is remarkable. Number 5 is Utah hemiplegic. It shows 3 Sasquatch moving in synchronicity. Tree hiding, parental care, likely of a disabled Sasquatch. It's pretty remarkable, and it all happens up in the top right-hand corner here. And they're watching these children who are sledding kind of off a country road up west of Bountiful, Utah. The brown footage, it shows that Sasquatch run and bipedally through the forest at night. And so it ranks number 6 of all time. Tree peaking, holding, pushing off, remarkable. You see the bent legs. Number 7, the Freeman footage, is the second film after the PG film.
Oh, there
it
you go.
Crosses a gap, shows his rise, pause, fall. It turns its head a little later on, and then it tree peaks and walks away. So it shows much more behavior than the Patterson-Gimlin film. Number 8, Prince Island, Edward Island. It's a tiny little island, and the Sasquatch, a huge one, runs across. And the human and the Sasquatch are in the same spot at the same time. And the Sasquatch is like 10 feet tall. It's pretty cool. And it's really fast. 3 clips, Miaka, Florida. It shows it rising without its hands right there. You see the gray on the bottom of the hands. It's walking along behind the trees. It's trying to figure out what the filmers are doing. The filmers are there. The film was then highly stabilized to make it usable. And you can see the super long arms. You see the tree peak, and boop, it figures out what they are and then walks away. It was lured with rotted meat and apples. And there you can see the rise, pause, fall as it walks away. Number 10, Pennsylvania white. What people don't mostly realize is that they've augmented this, and that's how it was posted. And when they've looked at it, they can see they've lightened it up, and you can see it's really long. Notice the arm length here in the CXD4 enhancement. It's great. It wasn't even noticed, so this has been posted long before CXD4 actually looked at it, and you could see how long that arm is as it reaches and reacts so quickly. Number 11, William Evans' Baby on the Craw of a Tree. We've actually been there and saw the tree. It's now a huge stick mound is all around the tree. This area here you can't get to, all naturally broken. There it is. You can see the nose, the eyes, and its face actually turns toward the camera. It's hiding. It's taken very near another William Evans, that's much farther down the list, which is Stepping Out. And if you slow this down, you can see you can actually see the eyes and everything in here. It's not as high quality video. Number 12, Fasano captures the Sasquatch blinking its eye. It's there, it's behind. And what this is showing the iridescence of an eye. You see the brow ridge, the coned head, and it's right there. He hears it, it's in further audio movement. Here's the CXD4 enhancement there, and it's stabilizing it so you can see it. Number 13, New York Baby Bigfoot, filmed in 1996, but not seen until 2002, and it shows the arboreal nature of the a young Sasquatch as it kind of goes up and down the trees. Number 14, Auburn in Minnesota. This explains why Sasquatch have this cranial vault. They run through the tree. It needs protection. As you see it go through, you see the auburn hair, you see the bent leg, you see the leg muscles vibrate. That's a Sasquatch, and it's in Minnesota. Number 15, Memorial Day footage by Lori and Alan Pate. It's running along, the feet go along. It's probably a young female. It's still pretty fast for that age, and it's just running along, and then it gets down to the bottom. It was squawking in the trees, and then it grabs the young one and just puts it on its shoulder and walks out. You see how long those legs are when the feet flip back. It's pretty cool, and did that barefoot. Number 16 is a kid films a Sasquatch from his window.
Do you need to open the window to get it better?
Yes. Yes. Okay, here's Bigfoot. We got him on camera. We got him, we got him! Hey, Bigfoot! Woo!
Christopher Noel's field research. You can see he stabilized it very nicely. You can see it walking down, arm come up. And he also got measurements. New Peguis Back Road by Douglas Thomas. Basically, it's walking along. You see that backward sloping forehead, walks across. And there it is. You get a few strides, and it pulls on the trees, kind of does everything. I've talked to Douglas R. Thomas many, many times. He lives about 150 kilometers north of Winnipeg. South Jersey Sasquatch films two Sasquatch in southern New Jersey, of all places. There's an X formation. It's behind there. You see the coned head, everything. Number 19, the Alabama footage by Bassett, Halsey, Green, and Tomas. There it is. It's watching them behind the tree, and then they shout to each other, "Hey, what's that? Is one of you guys over there?" And as soon as it does, it starts moving backwards. Fantastic footage. There's Louisville, Pennsylvania. Aubrey watches go-kart. Basically, these guys capture a perfect image of a Sasquatch walking. Number 21, the fence jumper. It's in Texas, where the two of the other videos are from. Just walking along, and that's a 4-foot tall fence. So this is a big boy as it just kind of walks almost on all fours. And you see a nice wide ankle. You see that backward sloping forehead. The most likely scenario for Sasquatch in Florida. Okay, here it is. Think, what does it mean to have Sasquatch filmed 5 times in Florida, much less Minnesota, Texas, Alabama, Utah, California, all over? It's because Sasquatch fill North America as individual family groups very sparsely. Homo was likely created in America. How can this be? Well, a strategic, nocturnal, human-shaped ape must exist throughout North America for us to exist. This will likely be the greatest eureka of all time for science. And how did it happen? Between 8 and 12 million years ago, there was a giant land bridge, a couple of them, and it allowed squirrels, which is a very small, not seaworthy animal, to migrate to North America. It developed into Homo and then migrated back. So how did that happen? How did Homo become created? Well, surviving as individuals and hunting at night, the genes were selected for big brains. And there was a temporal survival zone near Florida. And a bunch of things happened. Our swimming and fat layers and maybe 20 other things occurred in North America to this specific niche. The same way a dung beetle adapts to collecting dung with these big pincers, Sasquatch adapted to North America. So where's the proof? Well, the proof is in all of us. Our most ancient genes in every human come from Eastern Asia, not Africa. They're 2.4 million years old. Pacific Rim modern humans show a greater brow and keel structures because they've been less adapted. Aboriginal Australians show the heavy brow, you see it above the nose, and you see that same super thick cranial keel. Same thing you see in Homo erectus. As you travel westward toward Europe, you still see those same heavy brow ridges and structures in many humans. What does the brown footage show us? Adaptation to nocturnal stealth and attack. The heavy features of ancient Homo allow Sasquatch to run through the forest at night, and the brown footage is a perfect example. Heavy structures of Homo heidelbergensis are seen in modern humans even today. This is likely the same type of structure that you would see in the skeleton of the brown footage. Homo nocte grande venator, the great night hunter. Congratulations, you guys. Great work. Facebook, find Bigfoot.